Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're doing episode number, I believe, 35 of I Build Your Team series, where I build my viewers' teams to the best teams possible for my team showdown or whatever you might be playing. By the way, I'm wrong. This is actually episode 36. So appreciate y'all for supporting the series. I'm glad y'all been enjoying the double uploads, trying to get to new teams as much as I can every single week, every single episode. If I do repeat a team here and there, I do apologize. It's not really my goal, but it does potentially happen at times. So with that being said, before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first team today comes in from my guy Josh. Actually, Josh is the guy who makes my thumbnails, and so he's never submitted his team for one of these before, I don't think, but he submitted it here, and he's actually got like a half decent team. Now here's the thing. This team, my first thought is, honestly, it's undersized. He's also a huge Warriors fan, so I'm not going to tell him to replace Steph because Steph's like his favorite player of all time. So I'm not going to tell him to replace his favorite player of all time, even if that's not the best card. But he's got D-Book as well, which is really good. He's got Kawhi, and then he's got Pippen. Here's my thought process. I would run Kawhi at the starting 2 and Pippen at your backup 2. Take Grant Hill at the lineup entirely. Launch that card to Narnia. He stinks. And honestly, a Dark Matter MJ2, I would exchange him away as well. Josh Smith could start at the 3. Your backup 3 probably, in my opinion, is Morrison over Scotty Barnes, in my opinion. And then your 4 could be Tim Duncan. Your backup 4 could be Bam Adebayo. Your backup 5 could be Joel Embiid. But I feel like you need a starting 5, or I guess you could start Embiid at the 5 and get a backup 5. Right now, you don't have the MT to do that. So I think what you got to do right now is run Moses at your backup 5, Embiid at your starting 5. But you got to try to add some MT, whether that means you're going through your collection, quit selling your shoes, selling your batch, sell all the stuff you can to try to save MT to get a big. Because if you could save the MT to get a Pink Diamond Victor Wembanyama or a Galaxy Opal Roy Hibbert or somebody like that, that will be the biggest help that this team can get right now. But hopefully I help reorganize your team, if nothing else, so that it fits a little bit better in this video. So with that being said, second team today comes in from Cash App. He's nobody spent, says he'll have 200,000 MT. I like this team, nobody spent. It's not bad, but I do not think Levine is worth the price tag. Especially considering I just don't think he's that elite personally. I would honestly sell Levine, and you could either use that MT to go get a comparable point guard. Somebody like a Manu Ginobili would probably be my personal recommendation because you need some scoring with the starting lineup that you've got. I would do Manu and Caruso as your point guards, and then Wiggins and Ricky Davis as your shooting guards is fine. Giannis and Hansbrough as your small forwards. Honestly, I don't mind that either, although I think personally I would probably sell at least Hansbrough. I understand Giannis for the size and the defense. Hansbrough, in my opinion, I would sell and replace with somebody like an Anton Jameson. I just think he's a little bit better, personally anyway, but if you like Hansbrough, keep him. Triple J is sellable. Vlade Divac is sellable. I would probably sell both of those cards and run Kalel can be your backup 4 still. Backup 5 probably should be somebody like a Roy Hibbert. And you're starting 4, I'd get Andrea Bargnani, honestly. So you have something along the lines of Manu, Wiggins, Giannis, Bargnani, Wemby. Off the bench, Caruso, Ricky, Anton Jameson, Kalel Ware, Roy Hibbert. If you could get that 10-man lineup, I would like that a lot. Next squad today comes in from Justin. He's got 250,000 of T. Says Gary, Bees, Reem, and Keem are all sellable. Okay. So first thing I'm noticing, Gary is sellable. You also have Lonzo. Sell Gary. Just run Lonzo. And then you got J. Kidd and Lonzo. Second thing, Kawhi and Roy is good. Beasley and LeBron, looking at the way this lineup is organized, I think I would keep that as is. If you're going to have Tim off your bench, anyway, well, okay. What I would probably do is J. Kidd, Kawhi, Braun, Tim Duncan, and Reem, and sell Hakeem. And then off the bench, run Lonzo, B-Roy, Beasley, Moses, and Wemby. And then you're going to make a lot of MT from selling Reem and Gary Payton. And then you'll have like 600,000-700,000 MT instead of 250K MT. Your team is basically just as good. Beasley's got to be on the bench there as a shot creator. You could even sell Bees and replace him with somebody else. Like you could upgrade to his Dark Matter. You could replace it with Tim Thomas. Could replace it with Andre Kirilenko, something like that if you wanted to as well. But honestly, this is another team where I just think organization is good, saving MT by using Lonzo and using Moses instead of Hakeem and Gary, since there's not a huge difference between those cards in terms of the level that they're on. I actually think Lonzo's better than Gary personally, but I know Gary's jump shot's better. So that might be the reason that you prefer Gary personally. Either way, that's probably my personal opinion, is that that's how I would organize this team. And hopefully that is helpful with this one right here. Second to last. Oh wow, that was only the third team. Okay, we got to speed up a little bit here. Next team comes in from Xavier. Says he's picked up Wiggins. He doesn't know what else to get from the exchange. Okay, looking at this team, I don't think you're gonna have enough for Jason Kidd, I would assume. So if you could get Bam Adebayo, that's probably what I would personally do. I think realistically, this card looks solid, or this team looks like it needs some work. I think you have 350K, which is a decent amount to work with, so that's good. You need a point. I would take, honestly, completely removed from the lineup, Mario Chalmers, Jamal Crawford, DeAndre Jordan, Hassan Whiteside. I think all of them go. Maybe you keep Mario and Hassan as your backup point guard, backup center, if you like them. You know what? In order to save MT, I think you do that. I think you keep Mario Chalmers, you keep Hassan Whiteside as your backup point guard. And I like Kirk Heinrich, but I would get Dyson Daniels as well, just to have somewhere on your team. Honestly, no, I wouldn't. I lied. I would probably get Manu Ginobili. He's going to be the one expensive upgrade. Manu can be your starting point guard, and then you can have Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah, and Wiggins. So Manu, Corey, Wiggins, Joakim, and you need a center. I would add Roy Hibbert. But you could also add like a Bargiani. Actually, Bargiani probably would be who I'd add for this team. So then you add Manu and Bargiani as like your two expensive upgrades, I guess. And then off the bench, you can have Chalmers, Posey at the 2, Gerald at the 3. Bam at the 4 is the other guy I'd get from the exchange. Just get Bam from the exchange if you can get anything else from the exchange. And then backup 5 could be, I guess, Whiteside if you're running Chalmers. So something like that, 10-man is probably what I would personally be looking to do with this squad. Second to last team today comes in from Erod. Says he's got Kidd. He sold Beasley. He's got 450K, needs a big. So he's got MJ and Kidd, which is great. Rocco and Pippen, I don't mind, especially since you have Weber and Josh Smith. And then you have Tim Duncan, Moses, Wemby, and KP. 450,000 MT with this squad. I feel like you're right. KP needs to go, but how are you going to replace him is the question. And I think realistically, you're looking at having to pay. I mean, you got a couple options. If you want shooting, a little less size, you can go with a Bargiani. If you want a combination of the two between shooting and size, you could go with a Chet, who doesn't have as good of a jumper, but is going to play a little bit bigger. If you want size and defense, go with a Roy Hibbert. Those are kind of your options, though, in my opinion. I think you got to decide what archetype of player you want in that position. But in my opinion, those are the 3 guys that I would be considering picking between. Last team today comes in from Cam Thomas. Stanson. He's got 3.2 million MT, but he's sellable. He wants to keep Bam since he's one of his favorite players. I support that. Point guards. This is a full unsellable team besides Beasley, which I totally support. With that being said, I think Beasley's a stud. I don't think I would sell him. 3.2 million MT, you can afford to have a card like Beasley, even if he is unsellable. I do think realistically you could, I don't know, man. You could consider some different stuff here. You could, I would upgrade your point guard position. I mean, I know I've recommended it for multiple teams already. Manu's scoring ability is really good. And also I think he actually fits really, really nicely with a guy like Tim Duncan, who's a Spur. I don't know, just kind of works. And plus his scoring ability gives you a real secondary ball handler, or even primary. Like him and Tim Duncan could be your main scorers, and then Kawhi and Josh Smith don't have to do much of scores. Then you have LaMelo off your bench where he fits a little more with his defense, and then you have Beasley as your primary, B-Roy as your secondary. So if you have Manu and LaMelo, I'm fine with that. Kawhi and B-Roy is good, Josh Smith and Beasley is good, Tim Duncan and Bam is good. Centers is where I would look to upgrade mainly. And I think you can get a couple of cards to do that. Realistically, the first of those is probably going to be, again, somebody like a Wemby or a Bargiani or somebody along those lines. Second one could be, you could run Gasol at backup center if you wanted to. You could go get Roy Hibbert. You could go get something along those lines. You could run Wemby and Bargiani and get both those guys. It all depends on what you want to do with your team. You could always get Chet. Just some different names there. I think up to you in terms of, the archetype of big that you want. But I would get at least 1 big man to play center, if not 2, out of those names that I listed. Could always pay for a Kareem as well. That'd be another option. So with that being said, that's going to do it for the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.